Okay, Lumi, welcome. Thank you for
Thank you.
this conversation today. I'm looking forward to it. Um,
Yes, thank you. I'm happy to be here.
Wonderful. So we were talking in the last meeting that we were in together, around you were sharing like that you had quite a big shift in your life recently. And it
Mm.
was so amazing to hear, so beautiful to hear. And you filled the group with such energy. And so I wanted to ask you about that. I guess just give us a brief, like, what was that about?
I I had the realization that I love my life. I love my life. I love who I am right now, and I love like who I'm becoming as well. And the process that I've gone through, kind of like as an entrepreneur or a solopreneur or um, and life in general. I just really love my life, and I love who I am right now and who I'm becoming.
I mean, that is the dream, isn't it? That is what everybody wants to be able to say, and you can say that. I mean, it is incredible. So, tell me how this came to be, like a few months ago, or maybe a year ago, or whatever. Where were you? Where did you start this feeling? Like, how did it all start?
Oh, well, um, it's been a dream of mine to move abroad for probably about half of my life. And when my husband and I got together, he found out about that. And then once we started traveling together, he was completely on board. And then I was in a different career, and I'd been wanting to get out of that career for a long time. And then my husband passed away before we got to do any of that. And my life completely changed directions. Before he passed away, he made me promise that I would still go after my dream of moving abroad. And I realized that like the opening for me to leave my old career behind and do what called to my heart and my soul, and to support widows in rediscovering themselves and recreating themselves in life after loss. So I moved to Spain. I had no idea what I was doing. I had no idea what was involved in building an online coaching business. And it wasn't easy. It's not for the faint of heart, but I did it. And it's been about almost 2 years now that I've been in Spain full time. And I'm just like discovering things about myself, that like what I'm capable of and what I can do, and just leaning into all of the hard bits, and I just kept going. I just kept going. I just kept doing the next thing. And here I am.
Was there a moment that you felt that sense of I love my life really sort of starting to come into the present for you, and so that you could really connect with it? Because like you said, it's not for the faint-hearted. It's tough.
Yeah.
Moving, starting a new business, like that's a lot. And so how were you feeling kind of leading up to that sort of moment of thinking, oh God, actually, I really love my life. I love who I am now, and what was going on for you?
So I've been how do I want to say this? It's been a practice of mine um, to create a life that I absolutely love. And so I've been very curious and staying out of conclusion about how can I really love my life? How can I create a life that I absolutely love? Like, what does that feel like? And what can I add in that will give me that experience before all the pieces and parts are in place? And this was just a few weeks ago, actually. I was going to bed, and I was laying in bed, and I was kind of like reflecting over my day. and like what I had done, who I'd been with, how the day flowed. And I had the like realization, like the visceral experience in my body, like, oh my gosh, it's here. Like I love my life. It doesn't mean that life still doesn't happen, because it does. Life's going to happen to all of us. But I mean, I just, I love it. And I, I don't know. I didn't know when it would come. I knew it would come. I just didn't know when. And it's here now. And it's just, it's so amazing and beautiful.
I love the way you say, like, it's here. It's almost like it's been, like the way you describe it, I can imagine it sort of almost traveling towards you
Yeah.
as you're kind of building these practices. And as you said, I just keep going, I'm keeping going. And you have this trust that, oh, this is what you, this is where you're heading, and sort of trusting in that. So you're keeping going and you're building these practices. And then one moment you're like, oh my God, it's arrived. It's here. How beautiful. That's
Yeah. Thanks.
um and so what shifts has that also made then in terms of your business? Like what difference has that made in terms of maybe how
Mm.
up to your work and your business?
I think it's just all part of it. You know, like we all go through those fears of, you know, showing up authentically, being fully visible authentically. And as I gained the confidence and, you know, practicing showing up online and practicing putting myself out there, and being authentically me, it just, like, it goes hand in hand. You can't have one without the other. You know, I think authenticity and vulnerability just are are an integral part of having a life that you absolutely love. Because if you're like, if you're still hiding parts of yourself, or if you're still censoring yourself or parts of yourself, or the things that you think, or the things that you say, or the way that you are in the world, that's not conducive to being completely open to absolutely loving your life.
Yeah,
Like there's risks involved in that.
right. Yeah, you've exactly. There is. And there's a some of the conversations we have quite a bit in the groups, meetings is around the fear of more judgment, more responsibility, when we become more visible, or when we allow ourselves to be more visible. But obviously, of course, we have to be more visible to grow our business. And so it's a
Yeah.
real dark side of that, of thinking, but I want more responsibility? Do I want more work? Do I want people to judge me more? Do I want to judge me more? There's probably enough of that already internally. And um, it's that it sounds like there's some sort of freedom from that you're feeling. It's what I'm sensing is almost like you're kind of free of that. It's just like, yeah, I'm just free to love my life and whatever it is.
Yeah. I mean, for me, that there has been fear of being judged. And, you know, we know that when you have an online business, like there's so much like division, and there's so many trolls out there just looking for a place to shoot their arrows. And um I'm not gonna lie, you know, that that makes me uncomfortable of being on the recipient, like on the receiving end of that. And I kind of have this thought process, you know, the like the people that are gonna do that, they're not my people anyway. So I don't need to engage. I don't need to try to explain or defend myself, because I know that the people that are looking for what I offer are not going to be deterred by something like that.
Mm.
And years ago, my husband and I were in a direct sales company, and the big thing was don't go out looking for yeses, go out looking for no's. Like, rack up your nose, and in the process of people saying no, you're going to get people that say yes, and to not be afraid of getting a no. And so I don't know how much that plays into it, but that just popped into my mind,
Yeah, I
right?
imagine it's present. If that's come to mind, it must be in. I mean, I think it's being really almost having that as part of the expectation. Of course, I'm going to get no's, and I think
Yeah,
sometimes bury our head in the sand about that and just think, oh no, someone didn't say yes, and it's like, well, of course, it's not going to be for everybody, and
right.
yeah, it takes time to find your people, find your tribe out there, and yeah. I would love to hear some of your practices or one of them if you want to share them with us. Anything that kind of kept you on that path of just keep going and keeping going when things were tough or you didn't want to, or yeah, that you felt vulnerable. If there's anything that you think might help other people.
Yeah, absolutely. So, um, I'm in the process of changing it up right now, but I kind of have a morning set of habits, and I have an evening set of habits. So when I kind of wake up, I'm thinking about what kind of day that I want to have, and I step myself through the kind of day that I want to have. So that just kind of sets me up for, it's kind of like practicing my day before it actually starts, like how I want to feel. And I'm part of another group, and like we practice, like, what kind of energy do we want to experience each day, right? So I'm working with the energy of alignment. Like, I just want to be aligned. And so taking aligned action for my business to be successful, right? Taking aligned action for me to show up authentically. And for a long time, I was journaling, like, 5 things I was grateful for, 5 things that I'm grateful for now, 5 things I'm grateful for that haven't shown up yet, and 5 things that I'm grateful for about myself. So that just kind of opens up. Another thing that is really helpful for me is to practice being curious and staying out of conclusion, because when we're curious and we ask open-ended questions to whatever you want to call it, like the universe, whatever, like, hey, show me my next step, or what, like, what can I do now? Like, how can I do this better? And be open for the inspiration, because that gives us that, then we're open to possibilities. And if we're in conclusion, there's no space, like there's no openness for like different perspectives or options. And then at night, when I'm going to bed, I'm like, okay, 3 things that I'm really grateful for today, right? Like, what did I do, what happened that I'm really grateful for? And then I just choose to bask in the energy of loving my life, right? Or a life that I absolutely love, whether that was how my day went or not, right? Just kind of like Dr. Joe Dispenza talks about this, and like various other people talk about, practicing the experience of having what is not yet here. Then it almost like collapses time and allows it to find its way to you, quicker. So that's just and yeah, yeah, I think that's it.
I love those. And it's funny because it's not like they're really, really complex and layered, but
Mm-mm.
it's to do them every day, isn't it? It's the trick is to really show up to them with authenticity, which it sounds like that is your intention. And
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's very, there's not a lot of people sort of think of meditation and being mindful as a way to shift your emotions around in an intentional way. But actually we can meditate and invite in a certain emotion so that it becomes stronger, so that when we want to access that, then it's much more accessible for us. And so the way you describe that is so beautiful. It's steeped in mindfulness and sort of really it's like growing and nurturing those emotions so that they're really strong, and those that sense those states that you want to be in. um
Mhm.
yeah, such a great example of how it's possible and what it looks like when you do those practices. It's really powerful.
Yeah.
Thank you, Lee.
Thank
um
you.
so if someone in the group is experiencing, I guess, how would you describe like how you were feeling before you feel this really amazing sense of like loving your life and your work and everything. How would you
Yeah.
kind of explain that in brief?
Oh, I definitely went through a goose stage, like when a caterpillar is, encases itself in a cocoon and it liquefies, and then it's in this process of metamorphosis. And I was definitely in a phase of metamorphosis for months and months and months. And I was just like, okay, this is a necessary part. I lived my life a certain way for decades. I thought I was a type A person, and I'm really not. And so there was a lot of time where I had I went through a phase of deep healing, um, balancing my adrenals and calming my nervous system. And I took the time, and it always seems to be much longer than we think it ought to be. But I gave my body the time that it required, and I was able to stop pressuring myself and stop judging myself, again through a lot of these mindfulness practices, and just practice loving my body and being grateful for everything that she had done and everything that she was going through and the places that we've yet to go. And oh my gosh, I can feel tears, and I did a little ceremony, kind of like honoring the version of me that brought me to this place, and everything that she had done and everything that she had been through. And like I wrote her a letter, and I played music, and I burned a candle for her, and I just was so grateful for her. And I let her rest. I let her go on vacation and take her time now, because this new version of me is the one that's going to take us into the future. So I don't know if that answers your question, but I feel like that's it was hard. I'm not gonna lie. It was very difficult. It was hard. And once I unhooked the judgment and the pressure and just allowed what was there, it wasn't comfortable at all. And I definitely feel like the butterfly is out of the cocoon now.
So there's a real sense of really letting it be, allowing, and just trusting that it will pass because everything does change. And like you said, it's in its own sweet time. We can't force change, we can't rush it. We just lay the foundations and lay the conditions for change.
Mhm.
And it sounds like that's what you're doing with your practices, and then just really accepting the process, that it's going to be a process and you're not in charge of it. It's almost like um so what and for someone that's going through that now, what would you say to them? What would you have liked to have heard when you were doing that?
Oh, it's okay to rest. It is okay, and give yourself grace. I say this a lot to my clients and people that are going through rough times. Like we put so much pressure on ourselves. Like if your very best friend, the dearest person in the world to you, was going through what you're going through now, what would you say to them? And say that to yourself. because a lot of times, like I'll say, would the things that you're saying to yourself, would you say that to your very dearest friend? And they say, no, not at all.
Mm. And
And
what
that
if they
can,
don't believe that though? If they can say those words, they would say it to their friend, but they wouldn't say it to themselves. What would you say to that?
it's the key. It's really the key. I did this practice for a while, like, I don't know, like a year and a half ago, where I heard this guy saying that he had his people look in the mirror, look themselves in the eye, and say, I love you 10 times to themselves every morning. And I did that for quite a few months. And in the very beginning, it was so difficult. And I cried and I cried. And then it got to the point where I was like, wow, yeah, like I do. I love you. So I mean, that can be very, very difficult in the beginning, and it can help pave the way for treating yourself like you would like your very dearest friend, because you're the only person that that you're with like 100% of the time.
Yeah, it's so powerful. And even really when it feels so uncomfortable and you want to look away from that mirror and you just don't even want to step up to the mirror, that, like you said, the key is showing up to it, doing it. Even if you feel awful about it and you don't believe it, it's just keep doing it, keep doing it.
Mhm.
It will be having an effect. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. So happy for you. It's wonderful.
Thank you. Thank you.
Lumi.
What's that?
Beaming out of you.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
Um, okay, well, thanks so much.
You're
And
so welcome. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, it's definitely been a journey. It's definitely been a journey. And I'm grateful for the journey because it led me here. Right. So, yeah.
all right, lovely. See you soon. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.